Hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back. I am freshly showered. I did put on some lipstick, but otherwise there is nothing on my face but moisturizer and serums or whatever. And I'm feeling good. I took the kids to the pool and I am tired and ready to just eat dinner and do bedtime. So we are first though going to talk about Expand Those Pans. Expand Those Pans is a project that was started by Dora, who is Fuchsia Soul here on YouTube, and she's also on Instagram. And the idea is that you hit pan in your eyeshadows, then you might, not use them again and just kind of, move on. But in this project, you're going to only pick from eyeshadows that have pans. What I do is I use 3 at a time that are randomly picked, mostly, and then I use them 10 times each and let us see the progress. And it's usually quite surprising, which is what makes this project so fun. Now, Dora is no longer doing the project, but she has a bunch of videos where she was doing it, and there are other people who do it too, so you can go check them out. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get right into my update. I don't think there's a huge gap for you from when the last one went up to this one, but for me, there's been quite a while from when I first rolled these shades in, because I rolled them in before the school year was even done, and then it just took a while to get all the uses in. The first shade was really fast. I actually got that one done before I went away. So the first shade was Glimmer from Cleona, and I'm gonna have pictures on the screen. And so yeah, Glimmer, really easy. It's a purpley iridescent shade, right up my alley. I can use it in the inner corner. I can use it, lower lash line is sometimes fun to put different types of sparkles and all there. I can put it on the lid and just use it as a topper. So yeah, I had lots of fun. So I did the 10 uses. It was 3 and 2,500 grams. Now it is 3 and 1,700 grams. So I used 0.08 of a gram with those 10 uses. Makes sense if I'm doing a lot of inner corner, it doesn't get a huge amount of loss. So this one, there was a pan expansion, but not major. Then the next one I was able to finish was Tiger Tail. So this is another single eyeshadow. It's from Sydney Grace. It was 2 and 9/10 grams. Now it is 2 and 8/10 grams. So 1/10 of a gram usage over, the 10 uses. This one, I'm not sure if it's performing as well as I remember it being, but I'm also wondering if I'm thinking of a different Sydney Grace shade that's orangey that I have. That one maybe is a bit shinier than this one. So it's fine. I think I like it best on the lower lash line because it adds some brightness, but I don't feel like I'm missing out on the shine. Whereas if I use it on my lid, it just maybe isn't quite enough for me most days. And finally, I have for my Stone Vibes palette, shade number 9. So this is the blue shade. This one has gotten very flaky. So my hesitation with using this eyeshadow, I think, is more, I don't want to use it if I'm worried about the fallout all over my face as I'm applying it. It's not really a fallout problem during the day. It's more just that initial, and because when it falls, it's creamy and dark and blue, and so like under my eyes, it just really brings out the blue that I already have there. So yeah, it was hard to use this one. It took me a month and a half over to get through all the uses, but I did, and it felt really rewarding when I saw with the 10 uses the expansion. I didn't realize until I looked back at my thumbnail for the previous, and I'm like, wait, that was what it looked like when I rolled it in? Oh, I didn't realize. So I think that was my most impressive, even though it took me a while. And when I started to film this, I realized I did not bring up my other phone so that I could do the little randomizing, live with you, if you will. So I'm just gonna have it on the screen, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk through the shades. So 2 of the shades came from my Tartist Pro Remix palette, and I did make sure that I had not worked on these in the course of this year. It feels like I have just because I've used this palette so much for just other things. I used it in Level Up last year, and I feel like I did something else this year with it, but I can't remember now. But yeah, and so the first shade then was this gold shade. It's called Outside the Lines, and it's still a great yellowy gold type of shade. I don't always use this a lot, but you know, I guess I will be using it 10 times. And the other shade that was rolled in from here was this purpley shade, and I was just sort of disappointed when I saw. You can see I have quite a bit of, you know, pan showing on that shade, but this palette is getting old, and the purple is one of the shades that just isn't performing as good as it used to. When I swatched it, it's just at most a satin and not a very good satin. I have better ones. So I decided to let myself not use that one and pick something else from here. So I decided this red was one of the more recent pans that I've gotten, and so I thought it would be fun to expand this one since this is already, you know, pretty well loved. And yeah, so I am going to see what 10 uses will look like for this red shade called Graffiti. And then the other shade is a single, again from Sydney Grace. This one is not really a favorite shade. It was a freebie, but I can still find uses for it, and you know, I want to be using my makeup. So this is just sort of a dark, shimmery, gray type of eyeshadow. So it's called Times Square. And when I'm rolling it in right now, it is 3 5400 grams. So we'll see how much it weighs after the 10 uses. But the pan is very small, so you know, I think that 10 uses should be able to expand it, that it's not just, wait, is there a pan in there? So yeah, that's what I have for you this time. Yeah, I could make a look with the 3 eyeshadows, but I don't know if it would be a favorite look, having like a dark gray, a red, and a gold. Also, just, it doesn't give me the summery vibe, but I don't know. If I do, then I will share it somehow so you can see it. Yeah, it might be on Instagram or something, but for now, we're just gonna leave it like this. I wanna thank you for watching. Until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye. Am I saying that right? No. I don't know what I'm trying to say.